Hi guys, I'm back. Thrifting has been kind of light this week. It's been really light. I think I bought 2 items. They're cool, but I'm not going to spend 10 minutes trying to talk to you about 2 items. In fact, I'm going to show one of them in this video. But anyway, I had a conversation with my daughter this week about where we would all be as a family in 20 years. And anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it was basically, I told her, well, you and your sister are going to be going into your 30s. Your mom and I, your dad and I are going to be going into our 60s. And her reply, typical 9-year-old reply, was to look at me when I said we're going to be in our 60s. So, does that mean you're going into the nursing home? Anyway, but that conversation got me thinking about vintage and what makes vintage and how did vintage come to be. And that seems like a kind of a silly thing, but it's not really a thing that I thought about because, you know, vintage is vintage. Well, you know, you don't think vintage has not always been vintage. You know, the 1950s dress that you like so much was a typical everyday dress that somebody wore in the 1950s that they hung on to for the next 50 plus years, and now here it is 2011 and it's vintage. Well, I started thinking, not everything in my closet is vintage. It's vintage combination contemporary. So I kind of thought, I'll rummage around in my closet and see what are some of the things that I have that I think I might want to hang on to for the next 20 years, if I'm not in the nursing home, hang on to that would make good vintage. And so I kind of have a couple of things, a few things that I want to show you. Some of them are designers, some of them are high-end, some of them are everyday, you know, thing. Some of them are even discount store items. But as I go through them, hopefully I'll be able to explain to you really quickly why I think I'll hang on to them and why they'll be good vintage. So I'm actually going to start right here. The first one is discount, and it's from Walmart. And why I think that I'll hang on to this is, one, it's a really well-made dress for Walmart. It's really well finished. And the other thing is that it is done by a designer icon, which we know is all the rage now, for high-end designers to design for the discount stores. It's a Norma Kamali. And it's one of the first items that Norma Kamali designed for Walmart. And she's been doing that, what, for 3 or 4 or more years now? But this is one of the first items, was this, it zips up at the neck, this turtleneck dress. And I really like it. And it's one of my staples in my wardrobe from year to year. So it's something that I'll hang on to. I have it in this red, and then I also have it in black. This item I got from the thrift store. I paid $3.99 for it. It's called Is Dickon. And why I think it makes good vintage to hang on to is just the embroidery work. I know it's probably, you know, machine done somewhere in some province in China, but it's done really well, you know, and it's lined. So it's a really nice item that I think that I will, hang on to. Another item is this, sorry that dropped, this pretty velvet jacket with the satin buttons and the slit sleeves. It's just a really, you know, pretty item. I mean, design-wise, it looks like something that somebody would have worn back in the 1940s, you know, but now, so it's something I'll hold on to. This brocade. And I'm sorry, it's dark in here. I'm recording this in the evening, so I can't really see some of these black labels. I'm not sure who this is by. But this brocade is a really pretty item that I will probably hang on to. It's just classic looking. Let me grab this item that just dropped on the floor. Hang this here. This jacket by Charles Nolan of New York. is just unusual. It's kind of a velveteen. It's got the kind of a Sgt. Pepper-esque type thing. You know, it's got the gray on the sleeves and the gray across the placard, and then it's got the gray stripe across the back. I just think that would make a good item to hang on to. Another thing, department discount store, is this merino trench coat. Just because it's an unusual fabric and design, you know, and the matching buttons. It's just a cool item. I can actually, you know, I can actually see my daughter, if fashions don't change that significantly. I can actually see her, you know, even 10 years from now when she's in high school or a young adult. And if she's fashion conscious, I can see her wearing that. I don't know what her fashion style is going to be, but I can actually still see myself wearing this 10, 15 years from now. Another thing, these are one of my thrift finds for the week. I paid 99 cents for them. They're these Canadian gloves, and they're actually Olympic. They've got the Olympic symbol and the maple leaf from the... When did they have the Olympics in Canada? Was that 2008? Was that 3 years ago? Anyway, whenever they had it in Canada, that's what these are. And I just thought these were fun. I can see, you know, they're Olympic history, you know, gloves. You don't think, you know, much about these, but I could see, you know, they're official Olympics, got the little taggy thing in them. I probably won't keep them like this, I'll wear them, but there's something fun to hang on to. And then designer-wise, this is a Versace. Versace jean couture, you know, top. And just hang on to it simply because it's Versace. It makes a nice item. Another thing I have is these pair, and I've had these for a couple of years. These are Liz Claiborne. These huge, look at those legs. Are they not the widest things? Unfortunately, I'm too short for these. I think you need to be like 5'8", 5'6". I'm like 5'4", 5'5", and they're ridiculously long on me. And I'm not one of those people who is going to wear 3 or 4 inch heels just to wear some pants. But I will hang on to these because the way it's looking, my daughter is probably going to be that tall. But these are great. I mean, you go, well, what's so special about Liz Claiborne? Well, these pants were done during the time when Isaac Mizrahi was, I don't know whether he was a designer or whether he was the consultant with Liz Claiborne. So these are kind of his idea. And I really like these because they're long and they're actually high-waisted, and then they belt. So they're a great pair of design. So they're just really cool. Same thing, I got another Liz Claiborne item here. I've actually had this jacket for a couple of years. Not more than a couple, actually. And I wear it every year. And every year I get compliments on this jacket. And I think that's one of the things that tells when fashion holds up and you can wear it year after year and people go, oh, that's beautiful. And you're thinking in your head, this thing is 7 years old. You know? I mean, you know what I mean? You understand what I hope I'm explaining myself well of what I think makes good fashion. Another thing, this is a Gap. And I like it because of the design, it snaps all the way up, you know, that type of thing. I think that makes, you know, good design, and the fact that it's Gap and it's versatile and it's just a nice item. On the shoe front, accessory front, you know, you can't beat animal print, you know, I'm drawing a blank. Fur, real fur. Animal skin, kitten heel. These are made in Italy, so that's got another thing. But they're just great looking shoes. I mean, I can see these, you know, like I said, if fashion hasn't changed that much and we're not wearing space shoes, suits, and silver jumpsuits or whatever, you know, in 10 years, I can see these being a vintage item. I can see these being a vintage item too, just because of the beading work on them, on the front and the back. I don't know whether these, you know, whether it was done by machine or done by hand. I have no clue. Do know that they were made in China, which is one of the things that we're definitely going to see 30 years from now, is a lot of things that are vintage are going to be made in China. Handbag wise, I've already got a couple of things. I'm sorry, I've got this in a big mess. I'm not real organized. I've already had this for about 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. Because my girls will be getting older, and I had this before they were born. So, I mean, it's just a saddlebag. Kind of nondescript, as it's not a designer label or anything. It was just done by a local company here in the Washington, D.C. area. When I first moved up here, they had a store in the mall, and I saw this, and I fell in love with these, and I said, I gotta have these. They were a little bit out of my price range, but I got them anyway, and I've had them ever since, and I love and enjoy them, and they're a really good, and they've been a really good investment for me. Another thing that I have, sorry, I'm ducking out of frame. I've had this one for quite a while too, and this is a Coach. This is a hobo bag, and again, this was out of my price range when I first bought it too. But when I wear this handbag, this purse, I get lots of compliments on this too. You know, God, where did you get that? What is that? That's really, really neat. I mean, I like some of the Coach bags now, but, you know, their designs, they're, I think, going more toward the fabrics and some designs, but I just like this. You know, it's nondescript, but I know it's Coach, and it's a neat design, and you're not going to find it anywhere. And it's leather, you know, that type of thing. That's pretty much, I think, it. I mean, it's not it, but those are some of the things that I pulled out real quickly to kind of, you know, kind of show you. I have, well, one more thing. I have this hat. I bought this hat at Marshall's. I think this hat will be a really cool thing to hang on to for vintage. But anyway, that just got me thinking. I hope my video does the same, and you go rummaging around in your closet and, you know, think about, hey, maybe I ought to hang on to this, you know, because it's going to be, it might make cool vintage in 20, 30 years. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, please post them down at the bottom. And hopefully next week I will have a thrifting video for you. I don't know, you guys know with vintage, not vintage, well, with thrifting, it's feast or famine. It's been famine for the last couple of weeks here for thrifting, at least in my opinion. I mean, I've seen people walking out with lots and lots of stuff, but I go through and I'm just not finding anything. But anyway, hopefully my luck will change. I may check out a couple of new thrift stores or ones that I haven't been to in a while and see what's been going on there. But anyway, take care, and I will see you soon. And if you guys have any ideas, because I'm really starting to run out of ideas, I don't want to recycle the same thing over and over again. If you guys have any ideas of things, and I by no means consider myself an expert, but if there's things that you would like to for me to make a video about, let me know. Thanks, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.